ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track, and ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Hank's the family fixer, always with his tool belt. But living with prostate cancer, he needed help. He asked his doctor about Xtandi and enzalutamide. Xtandi 40 milligram tablets treats men with prostate cancer that has spread to other parts of the body and responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi may cause serious side effects: seizure, a brain condition called PRESS, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking that can lead to death. Stop Xtandi and get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you faint, have a seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after Xtandi. Common side effects include muscle and joint pain, feeling unusually tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and headache. Talk to your doctor and visit Xtandi.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Wahahaha.
I don't know what there were 3 different things going on there.
Yeah, I don't know. It went from like Count Chocula, like we were getting a lot of different ones. But what can I say? I'm a performer. Stop. Welcome to another episode of But Am I Wrong? 2 people who have never been wrong. It's us. Hello. We tell you when you're wrong, other people when they're wrong, sometimes ourselves when we're wrong. But again, that rarely happens. It's a fun show. Think of this as shit talking with your friends about pop culture, and then people who you know who are like, hey, like, what should I do about this kind of thing? And then they are essentially like soliciting your opinion, which we love.
We do. I love when y'all use your little digits or your voice and you send us a message and then we get to read it. I love to laugh. I love to groan. I love to skip sometimes. And that's fine. But the participation is what I want.
We love it. And speaking of participation, not only do we ask you to participate by submitting things for us to talk about, writing in with the things that you want to know if you're in the wrong about, but also we want you to vote on who you think was wrong in each segment on our episodes. So we post stories over on Instagram and we put them in a highlight, and there's polls on there. So you vote who was wrong, who was not wrong. And those are only up for 24 hours. We want you to vote, but even if you miss that voting window, we want you to write in why you voted the way you did, what your thoughts and your feelings were. And we read all of those on our episode on Tuesday called See You Next Tuesday. So we got like a little recap of being like, oh my God, because sometimes you like listen to a podcast or something where you're like, I need to talk about this with somebody. We get to talk about it again and be like, oh my God, can you believe this? And sometimes you all have insights of things that like we never thought about. Sometimes we even get like updates from people or more drama, more info. There's maybe more things have progressed and happened since then. It's a grand old time.
All right. Shall we get into our first segment?
We shall. And our first segment is But Am I Wrong? Where we pitch to the other person if we want to know if we're in the wrong about something. It could be something that has happened currently. It could be a hot take. It could just be a rant. It has brought us things such as big kale, big egg, big dairy, as well as George Santos. Yeah, if you listen to this podcast, you'll know people before everybody else does. Melissa taught us about him 2021, 2022. Like, it was so early on.
It was so early on. Sperm racing.
Yes.
Today I've got a rant, though, and it's about something that really grinds my gears. We've been having a lot of conversations these days about reallocating police funds, and I mostly agree. There are definitely situations where other agencies might be better equipped to handle things. But then you hear about cases, truly sickening cases, and it makes you wonder if we're losing sight of something fundamental, protecting ourselves from the real predators out there. Take the story that happened in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. This man, Warren Schaefer, allegedly goes into a mall bathroom where he works and exposes himself to a 15-year-old boy. And his excuse for doing this was that he thought this child was someone that he met on a dating app. A grown man mistakes a child for an adult that he was trying to hook up with in a public restroom at his job. The 15-year-old boy panicked, ran out, security got involved, and thankfully this man was arrested. And it just makes me sick to my stomach. And then there's also the situation involving Derek Chauvin, the man convicted in killing George Floyd, a case that sparked national and international outrage, highlighting issues of racial injustice and the immense harm one individual's actions can inflict on a community and a nation. We're even hearing now about potential preparations, which the governor, who we are familiar with, who should be our vice president right now, there are potential preparations for civil unrest if President Trump were to pardon him for his federal convictions. Think about that. The very idea of potentially undoing a conviction in such a landmark case, a case that laid bare deep societal wounds. And here's where my thinking goes a little differently than some of the current discussions. While I believe in finding better ways to address many social issues when it comes to people like the two that I mentioned, to the outright weirdos who prey on children, and then you consider the profound impact of someone like that man that killed George Floyd and the potential fallout from a pardon. It makes you wonder, do we really need to go through the whole lengthy legal dance, the endless appeals, the constant uncertainty? I know. The Constitution, due process, innocent until proven guilty. We hear it all the time. And in most cases, I agree. But when you have someone allegedly preying on a child in a public place, someone who admits the act, even with some flimsy excuse, does a part of you think, lock them away? When it comes to a police officer murdering a man in daylight, where the impact of his actions is so deeply felt and has a broad implication, the idea of a potential pardon can feel like a slap in the face to justice. That's why I'm proposing a new kind of agency. Not for minor offenses, not for situations where de-escalation and community support might be more effective. No, this agency would be specifically for the truly depraved, the individuals who demonstrate a clear and present danger to our communities through their actions and their hateful ideologies, and perhaps even those whose actions have caused such profound societal harm and eroded public trust in fundamental institutions. Imagine an agency with the sole purpose of identifying, apprehending, and yes, locking up these individuals without the years of legal wrangling, the endless appeals, the possibility of them walking free to potentially harm others, or potentially undermining the pursuit of justice and healing. Think about the peace of mind it would bring, knowing that the people who intentionally target children, who spew racist venom and incite violence, and perhaps even those whose actions have such seismic impact on society, are simply gone, removed from society, unable to inflict their harm or further erode our sense of justice. Now, I can already hear objections. Who decides? What about mistakes? What about the potential for abusers of power? These are very valid concerns. And any such agency would need incredibly strict oversight and ironclad safeguards against errors and biases. The criteria would have to be crystal clear, the evidence irrefutable. But when I read about a child being violated in a mall bathroom, or when I see the insidious spread of racist hate online and in our communities, and when I consider the ongoing ramifications of cases that people think the person shouldn't have been arrested in the first place, a part of me yearns for a more direct, a more immediate way to protect the innocent and isolate the malicious, and to ensure that justice once served isn't so easily undone. This isn't about taking away rights from everyone. This is about focusing on a specific, dangerous segment of our society that seems to operate outside the bounds of basic human decency and respect, and in some cases, whose actions have such far-fetching and damaging consequences. Maybe this is a radical idea. Maybe it's legally impossible in its purest form. But when I see the pain and fear these kinds of individuals inflict, I can't help but think there has to be a better way to protect our communities from the truly wicked among us, and to ensure that justice holds firm in the face of potential reversals that could further divide us. We need to have a serious conversation about how we deal with the monsters in our society, and whether our current system is always the most effective way to keep us safe and uphold the principles of justice. Thank you.
Hey, you're not alone in this thought. Do you know how many people think that all men should start in prison and work their way out?
You?
Me. Hi, one of them is sitting right here in front of you. And you know who I think this is a job for? B613.
Yeah.
I need them, but I need B613 to be all women.
Mm-hmm.
I need them with big old pension plans.
Uh-huh. Somebody take care of it.
Yeah, Melissa said, you know what? Defund the police. And if you're not going to defund the police, I want a better police, and I want them to put all of your asses in a jail that you can never get out of.
And I'm fine with that. I think that you and I would be great people, part of this team.
No, the way that we would be so phenomenal, because the vibe radar that we have for people is uncanny. Like, if you ever want to know who not to trust, if we don't fuck with someone and there is still no there's no solid reason, there's just a bad vibe,
we got it.
Give us what, 3 to 5 years and that shit will be out. There's a vibe.
We will be proven right.
Yes, it has happened time and time again. So I mean, you're quite busy. I'm not as busy, but hey,
I would make time for this.
And again, an incredibly hefty pension plan.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The best part is we get appointed for this. And the people who appointed us, I go, okay, now you bitches first. Oh, yeah, all of you motherfuckers. Well, I like the way you think.
Thank you.
Out radical the radical. Now,
we're going to take a break. And then when we get back, we'll get into yours.
Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. We've talked about OneSkin before. Did you know your body starts accumulating senescent cells as early as your 20s? Also called, what are they called, Melissa?
Zombie cells.
These cells stop producing collagen and hyaluronic acid like they used to, and they start secreting an inflammatory substance that makes neighboring cells dysfunctional too. There is an answer for these zombie cells, though, and it comes from our friends at OneSkin.
Founded by an all-woman team of scientists, OneSkin is the first and only skin longevity company to target cellular senescence, a key hallmark of aging, with their proprietary OS1 peptide. OS1 is scientifically proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost hydration, and help with the thinning skin that often comes with age. Don't just take our word for it, though. They've got over 4,000 5-star reviews for their full line of face, body, sun, and travel-sized products.
But if you want to take our word for it, know that we love them. We are using them constantly. The OS1, the way it goes on, so easy, so simple. You notice a huge difference with them, and your skin looks great.
Yeah, I have become a fan of the Rich Eye Cream because it's thick, but it's lightweight, and I can just easily use it as part of my routine.
OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started with 15% off using code BLAMEME at oneskin.co.
That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BLAMEME. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you.
Thank you to today's sponsor, HelloFresh. Fresh air, sunshine, and good food. That is what spring is all about.
That's my favorite thing about spring. All three of those.
HelloFresh makes it easier to fit quick, home-cooked meals into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes like pasta primavera, chicken Dijon, and pecan-crusted trout, as well as over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats.
Every HelloFresh meal uses high-quality ingredients, including seasonal, fresh produce, and proteins that travel from the farm to your doorstep. Flexible deliveries that you can pause or skip when you need.
I have to be honest with you. We've worked with HelloFresh before. I have gotten many
years.
Truly, and I've gotten countless HelloFresh boxes. This might be the menu that I have been like the most excited for. Like, I cannot wait. I am getting the Mushu pork lettuce wraps. Oh, hello, yes. And then I guess I'm in a porky mood. Pork chops with a zesty green onion salsa. Never had, like, love that. These are things that like I would never think to cook myself, and also like, I don't know, pre-portioned, so easy and so delicious. I cannot wait to try everything.
Yeah, I'm getting the cheesy smothered mushroom chicken, which mushrooms and chicken are two of my favorite things.
And I love them together.
I do too. I've been actually using a HelloFresh recipe in my rotation for years. I'm also getting the balsamic glazed steak, which I can't wait.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love steak, and I feel like steak is like one of the pillars of warmer weather.
It is. It's very springy.
It is. It is. Feel great with meals that fit your spring schedule and make the season even more delicious. Go to HelloFresh.com/BlameMe10FM now to get 10 free meals with a free item for life.
1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied at discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
We are back from our break, and it is time for mine. Mine is, dear God, I hope it is not a hot take explicitly, but it is a plea. It is also sage business advice, a word of wisdom. And that is, playing on insecurity is a terrible way to promote your business. Now, this came to me from, I don't know if it was a stitch or it was just my mutual Meredith Lynch on TikTok who talked about this and was like, oh my God, and had tagged the person who this was. And I went and watched it, and like Meredith tried to warn her audience, being like, you guys, this is like fucking great. Like it is so fucking mean for no reason. Like, don't get why. And it is a woman in, her name is Jessie Sheehan Official. She is well, I'll get into what she does after, but she is sitting in her car. She says that don't worry. She says that she's just in a parking lot because, of course, she's driving her car with no seatbelt on, waving out the window at people who very much are not there at her like pickup line, being like, oh, hi. And she's wearing what I can only describe as she walked into an antique store, saw a curtain tie back, you know, those like big, hefty like things that tie back curtains in like old homes, or anal beads. She's wearing that around her neck. And she has what some of the comments are saying is a Lord Farquaad haircut. And she makes a TikTok saying that there is a woman who is also in the school pickup line, goes to school. Her kid goes to school with her kid. And she, is freshly postpartum saying, I think the baby is now 1. And she wears leggings most of the time. And when she wears jeans, I'm just like, oh my God, she looks so much better. She looks so much better. And this is your PSA, everybody. Get out of those leggings. Don't wear those leggings. Yuck. Which is like, I'm so sorry. This is a woman you're not friends with in your school pickup line who you're saying she looks like a fucking mess when she should wear jeans all the time. People in the comments are like, this is so odd. Did she ask you for this? And she goes, I'm a personal stylist. I notice these things. I'm sorry, you're a personal. And people are like, maybe that's all she feels comfortable in. And she goes, well, it is not flattering. She should be wearing jeans.
She's picking up her kids.
Also, ma'am, you are wearing anal beads around your neck. Like, you are not this like sage word of fashion wisdom. And people are like, with this fuck ass haircut. And she's like, I like my bob. And they're like, then she might like her fucking leggings. And she goes, they are not flattering. Leggings are not pants. And people are like responding with these things of being like, imagine seeing this as like a freshly postpartum mom. Like I have to talk to myself, like as I'm getting ready, like to like run and go pick up my kid. I have that negative voice in my head that is like telling me that people are judging me for what I'm wearing. And like, I have to reassure myself that like nobody cares. And she's like, people care. It's your first impression. Excuse me? And she's like, I just noticed. I noticed. And everything, all of her responses just have like the little like smiley face with like the little hearts around it. But it is horrible. And someone says, this is why I hate leaving the house. I don't want people looking at me and commenting on my clothes. I wear what's comfortable. Her response, I help women rediscover their styles so they can feel confident leaving the house. She goes, my clients ask me this all the time. Girl, this is not your client.
She left the house though. So she was confident enough to leave her house.
Also, you've decided that she shouldn't feel confident enough to leave her house.
Right.
Excuse me? Truly, excuse me? It's just horrible. And literally being like, and her response, someone's like, what was your point exactly? I want to understand. And she responds, I teach millennial moms how to dress with ease and stress less without resorting to black leggings. You're trying to get business. You thought this was a way for you to be like, how can I prey on the insecurities of my potential clients to make them feel so bad about themselves that they go, okay, I'll hire you. Help me. Help me. And literally, she's just copying and pasting. I teach women how to dress the outfits with ease and not have to resort to black leggings. Fuck off. Fuck off. So, that's my hot take. And I will say that this woman, it is not a shock to me that her styling credentials have been mostly Hallmark movies that shoot in Chicago, as well as some local anchors on Chicago. By the way, tell the Chicago news anchors that you're hitting on leggings because you know what they're wearing underneath those fucking structured, bright, jewel-toned, colored dresses. They are wearing leggings. Mm-hmm. They are wearing leggings. And her outfits, her style, stylists in general, like there's a pretty like common through line with a lot of stylists. It's like a lot of stylists, like there's a lot of like body issues. Like there's a lot of like thinness centering in that. And like that's when something when like I've worked with stylists, like I really have to like pick a stylist. So I'm like, this cannot be like a thinness centered kind of a thing because like it's just like very, very, very toxic and very body focused. But this deeply judgmental perspective is actually not the person I would like to hire for my personal style, let alone for a movie, let alone for like anything else. And she just talks about how like, I just like, this is what I do. This is how I help people. Also, ma'am, I looked on your IMDb. A lot of the time you're a buyer. You are sent out with a credit card to buy things from a store. That is not.
And this is how she's drumming up business.
Yes. Which I think is like horrible because if your style in itself is not good enough to get people to want to work with you, sure as hell coming to judge other people's style is not the way to do it. If you were great at this, I'd be able to see it. And there are some people who do like specifically do like things of being like, I'm a millennial mom and like getting dressed and all that stuff like so difficult. Like here are some ways to do whatever. Teach you how to do all of that. Nope. It's all just judgment. It's all just judgment. And she can't fucking dress.
Can you send me a link? I would like to see this haircut.
Okay. I'm going to send you this one outfit. And it's really important you see it because, first of all, the dogs are out. she is wearing a pair of jeans that I have to assume that she had defined. I don't know where she found them.
This is not a cute outfit.
Melissa, she can't. I'm really not kidding. She cannot dress. She objectively
it didn't even fit.
No. She objectively cannot dress. And you know what she keeps telling everybody? I love a good pair of flip-flops. I'm so sorry. You're out. As a stylist, you tell me that like the staple shoe every woman needs is a flip-flop? First of all, podiatrists are screaming at you. Flip-flops are not a fashion. Sure, a platformed rhinestone flip-flop, that is a choice. That is a specific aesthetic choice. But like a flip-flop being a staple shoe, that also tells me that you are not, this checks out why you're also not wearing a fucking seatbelt, talking shit. You're going to hit a kid, by the way, in a school parking lot. And as somebody who had a friend who was hit by a parent at school pickup, that shit fucking happens. And that's also not the only person I know who got hit by a car by another parent. Both were accidents. But like that shit happens. Like it just does. This idea that you're going so slow that it's fine. But I'm like, you're wearing flip-flops. You're not making safe choices for anybody. How are you going to chase after your kids?
Is her page still there?
Yep.
Maybe I preemptively blocked her. Because when I click on her actual profile from my actual TikTok or in my account, I think I blocked her because it doesn't go to her page.
Oh, I love that.
I block people all the time. I'm truly surprised I'm not at my limit. I don't understand how I'm not, but I won't look a gift horse in the mouth.
She literally has a video of her in her little flippy floppies, midi skirt with the lining where you can see the lining shorter than the full skirt, which to me is like, that's automatically, you don't know fashion, and a turtleneck sleeveless shirt with shoulder pads.
Cool.
Okay. If we want to talk about judgment, I'm ready for it. You want to be mean? I can be meaner, motherfucker. So don't hire her, by the way, everybody. If you are looking
How
for
many
this,
followers does she have? Because I can't see her page.
135. Like,
and she's posting pretty regularly.
Oh my God, nonstop. She's posting multiple times a day, all day. The way that I'm like, ma'am, invest in a gimbal. It's just constantly just like the shakiest videos you've ever seen of her just like talking shit with a bob that is, she says she's a recovering perfectionist. I don't believe her.
Yesterday, I got this ad on Instagram, and it was for a jean company.
Mm-hmm.
And they had our jeans versus their jeans. And I think the point of it was supposed to make the butt look bigger, but their jeans, quote unquote, they were like wide fitting, like wide, like they're supposed to be baggy jeans. And then the company's jeans were
tight
skinny jeans.
Yeah, those different jeans.
They were just the same color. And I'm like, yeah, they're going to look different. And nobody is wearing that style of jeans that you are advertising.
They're like, damn, everybody, you guys, your jeans are really big. Like, you should get our jeans. They fit better. Bitch, that's... we know those ones exist. Yes. No one's buying them. It's such a weird...
Even us, we've gotten people that'll send us an email that'll be like, we need to work with your company. We could do a better job editing.
No, you can't. No. I think, like, if your product... and the people of Shark Tank might disagree with me, but like, I think your product will sell if it is good, or your service will sell if it is good. If it is good, you will not sell a bad product with good marketing. You can sell a good product with like next to no marketing. If you have a good marketing and a good service, a good product, but like if you have to resort to like very poor marketing because it's also indicative of like, I actually don't think you know what you're doing. I don't want to spend my money on your service or your product if this is how you think to advertise it. Like, no. I wish I was a mom in Chicago so I could just go bully her when she's in her school pickup line going, flip-flops, boo.
All right, we're going to take another break. When we get back, we'll get into But Are You Wrong?
If you've ever shopped online, and let's face it, who hasn't? Chances are you've bought something from a business powered by Shopify. You know that purple Shop Pay button you see at checkout? The one that makes buying so incredibly easy? That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes things easier, and not just for shoppers. They make it easy to start and run your business. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. It gives you a leg up from day dot with hundreds of beautiful ready-to-go templates to express your brand style so you can get up and running fast. You can tackle your important tasks from inventory to payments to analytics and more, all in one place. You can also spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools built for you to find and keep new customers. And remember that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already know and love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. Shopify.com/realm. I love a multi-use beauty product, like an eye/cheek/lipstick. It makes a full face so much easier, plus you only need to bring one product along for touch-ups. And whether you're all about simple mascara and gloss, or you love to play with bold shapes and colors, you gotta have that trusty favorite you turn to for every look. Thrive Cosmetics makes certified 100% vegan and cruelty-free products you can depend on for everything from simple daily wear to show-stopping self-expression. And it's all made with clean, skin-loving ingredients, high-performance and trademarked formulas, and uncompromising standards. And Thrive Cosmetics is beauty that gives back. For every product purchased, they make a donation towards 8 major causes, including social justice organizations and those impacted by cancer and homelessness. It feels good knowing that when I purchase a product, I'm also able to give back to causes that matter to me. And one product I love from Thrive Cosmetics is the Brilliant Eye Brightener. Like I said, I love a product that can have multiple uses, and the Brilliant Eye Brightener is just that. It's an eyeshadow and highlighter stick that's super blendable, and I'm slowly but surely stocking up on the 31 shades that it comes in. Try your new trusty favorites with an exclusive set for our listeners. New customers can get the Liquid Lash Extensions mascara and a mini-sized Brilliant Eye Brightener at a special set price with free shipping available at thrivecosmetics.com/thrive. Or save more with 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/thrive. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/thrive for 20% off your first order.
Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
It's time for But Are You Wrong? This is where we read your submissions that you email to butamiwrongpod@gmail.com with, you can either have similar to ours. You have a hot take, you have a rant, or you have a situation, circumstance in your life that you want to know if you are in the wrong about, and we will tell you. So we do ask that you keep it under 300 words. We have a form that you can fill out. You can also email it. Like I said, you can send us to us in a DM over on Instagram. But please include your age. It is all anonymous, so fake names and pseudonyms, but enough details that we can pass the judgment here. And don't worry, again, it is all anonymous.
So here's the first write-in. Am I wrong for being frustrated about my surgery being moved for cancer patients? I've had a few surgeries in the past to remove non-cancerous lumps from my breasts. I now have about 10 lumps in each breast, all about the size of a grape or larger. and have been planning to get them removed. The doctor said she assumes they are the same as ones I've had in the past, but there's about a 50-50 chance they could be malignant without a biopsy. We talked about combining the lumpectomy with a breast reduction, which would reduce the chance of having to have more surgeries to remove future lumps. Originally, my surgery was scheduled for March 10th. Then it was moved to April 28th. Then it was moved to May 12th. Then it was moved to May 19th, and it has been moved again to June 9th. They have said it continues to be moved because their cancer patients take priority and the surgeons can only do so many per day, which I totally understand, but it's frustrating to continue to mentally and physically prepare for surgery and also tell my employer that I will be out and then have to continue to backtrack. I was talking with some coworkers about how I was frustrated that they kept pushing this and how it's been living with constant anxiety about if these lumps could be cancer. And they said someone made a comment saying that I was being spoiled and privileged to be complaining when other people actually have cancer. I completely understand why the surgery has continued to be moved, but I'm still frustrated and have been living in constant anxiety, and the uncertainty of if when the surgery will take place has been destroying me lately. Whew, that's a lot.
I don't think you're wrong at all.
I don't think you're wrong at all because it could be cancerous and they won't know. And then it's continually, if it is, which I pray it's not, it's continually to grow within you without them knowing exactly what's going on inside your body.
Yeah. And we know how the American healthcare system works, that this is not an uncommon thing where, yes, certain things take priority over that, but they are taking a 50% risk over, they're taking a chance of being this person has 100% risk, let's say, and this person has a 50% chance of 100% risk, and we're picking the 50, but we're not picking 0. We're not picking, we're not rescheduling a nose job, a purely cosmetic procedure for this. Yeah, I think you're not wrong at all. I also think you wouldn't be wrong if you talk to some other options of providers. And I also think you wouldn't be wrong if you split up the surgery and said, I get a lumpectomy, right? Lumpectomy, right? That was, yeah. If you get a lumpectomy and then you have to split that up from doing a breast reduction, which I understand that totally sucks. But for your own anxiety and
and health too.
Yeah, for your own mental health and your own physical health.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a good call. And then also, I've never had to do surgery in that way through not a plastic surgery. The only surgeries I've ever had was wisdom teeth and then my nose job. So I don't know. I know that the wait times in general for breast reductions are much lower at plastic surgeons because they are not having to rank you with, there's not as often. And also there are some plastic surgeons who don't do reconstruction for trauma accidents and that kind of stuff. So they really only do cosmetic procedures that are not timely life-saving ones. They can be affirming surgeries and all of that stuff, but it's usually not in a trauma, we have to get this done stat kind of a thing. And I don't know if it's possible to do, because sometimes some doctors can do certain, and then they send it to a different lab. They send it to a different doctor to do a biopsy on X, Y, and Z or whatever. But this to me is you should not have to keep going through this. And also, at what point is there not someone with cancer who's not going to take priority? Because how are you going to find it? You know what I mean? Where does it, if it keeps happening like this, what's the rate of how often are you doing these surgeries in general? If it's oh, we do them this often, well, then it doesn't seem like unless there's a cancellation or something like that, it's not going to happen in that way. But yeah, I don't think you're wrong at all. I think this is a very naive thought from your coworkers.
Yeah. So, please keep us updated. And I hope that you're able to move this forward soon, or that the June date will be the final date.
And I don't know if I'm sure you've already asked, but I don't know because, depending on your like schedule I think it's important enough that like getting yourself, if you're not already on a cancellation list. And even though you said that like, you prepare your boss for when you need the time off and all of that. But like at a certain point, I think like if it's more likely that you'll get through with this doctor who you already have and all this kind of stuff, if you do a cancellation appointment, and that I think is more, that's allowed to like do that and then be like, hey, I got in a last minute cancellation. I'm actually going to be out now for 3 weeks. That to me, I think is your health is your ultimate responsibility, not making sure that it is convenient for everybody that you work with, because right now no one's making sure that your convenience is prioritized.
Right. Oof. All right. Next one.
Hi, Meghan and Melisa. I, 31, she, her, work in the hospital as an operating room nurse. Very medical episode. I have several coworkers, 20s to early 30s, who routinely go on surgical medical mission trips, separately, not together. While on these trips, they post pictures on Instagram of the patients with their faces fully shown, even occasionally while under anesthesia. This bothers me because 1, I doubt they have consent. 2, they would never do this to one of their patients in the US. And 3, many of these patients are children. The whole thing is so upsetting and problematic to me. I know it sounds obvious, but there are so many people praising these coworkers for their volunteer work that I just need to check them. Am I wrong to find this disgusting and unethical? No, you're not wrong at all. I do wonder what's like the protocol of that. Is it literally just because it's not in the US that it doesn't adhere by? But like, are they going through the hospital you work at? Because the hospital you work at, the rules that they have about like patient confidentiality should still typically apply if it's like again, through said hospital.
It's probably through a medical mission type trip.
But if it's sponsored by the hospital's still then associated with it. And then usually they don't, usually those rules like still apply. But yeah, I mean, if there's like no like legal recon for this, to me, it's just your coworkers have made it incredibly easy to know who you do not want to fuck with.
Mm-hmm. Their ethics don't align with yours.
No. And I also find this like really extra icky when it comes to like, the white savior complex. But like when there's also like people who do get to play God who also have that, it's like a double whammy of being like, ooh, you really feel like you are a gift to this world and you are really utilizing like your platform, your power, your prestige, all of these kinds of things to hoist yourself up above all these people. Like it's again, I'm talking about it multiple times. My plastic surgeon who did my nose, who like has done my Botox, who's like wonderful, Dr. Vartanian. I recommend him to everybody. He's fantastic. He does like one of his huge thing is like charitable efforts where he goes different places in the country and does free surgeries, not like it's like, free surgeries for people who have, whether it's like a birth defect that is like getting in the way of their daily life. It's like people who have been victims of X, Y, and Z and doing all of that. I don't see that. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not, wow, praise me for this. It's like, hey, he can't be scheduled because he has this thing. And I was like, oh, it's not everybody talk about how fantastic and wonderful I am.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But I think if there is like a chance that this is like not allowed, I also don't think you'd be wrong if you sparked up a conversation if they were talking about it and being like, I've always thought like we should apply those same rules that we do for like patient confidentiality to everybody.
Or if it's not allowed, report them.
Yeah. And if it's a gray area, report them.
Mm-hmm. Even if there's no hard and fast rules about it, write a letter talking about how you don't think that this is ethical or what the organization stands for.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good look.
No.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into But Are They Wrong?
We off?
30 seconds of carefree bliss.
Oof, like wind in your hair carefree.
Oh, like using Clorox Disinfecting All-Purpose Cleaner in the home carefree.
Yes!
Like dog slobbing on the coffee table and cleaning it with Clorox Carefree.
He's on a roll now.
Spit toothpaste on the faucet.
You got it. You got it.
Peanut butter on the light switch.
Oh, spritz, spritz.
Spritz, spritz. Clorox, man. Clean feels good.
Okay, we're back.
Use as directed.
Impact confirmed. The Slayer has been activated.
Demonic threat level increasing.
Hold the line!
All the power of hell cowering before one man.
id Software presents Doom, The Dark Ages. Available now on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC.
Rated M for mature.
Shopping is hard, right? But I found a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. I just give my stylist my size, style, and budget preferences. I order boxes when I want and how I want. No subscription required. And he sends just for me pieces, plus outfit recommendations and styling tips. I keep what works and send back the rest. It's so easy. Make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Spotify. That's stitchfix.com/Spotify.
Woo! We are back. It's time for But Are They Wrong? This is where we nominate a person, place, or thing on pop culture, current event, zeitgeist, who we think deserves some shame. Shame. Shame.
All right. My pick for this week is Highway Superintendent John Reilly. And I don't know if you heard about this disturbing story that happened in New York, but there's this town official in Chester who is the highway superintendent who's been accused of shooting a DoorDash driver who got lost and was just trying to ask for directions. There's even video because he did it on his Ring camera.
What is a highway superintendent?
A highway superintendent is a public official responsible for managing and overseeing the operations of a highway department. So the boss of the highway department. This man, the driver came up, and as he was trying to leave in his car, the driver was hit and seriously injured by the bullets. Like, can you imagine you're just trying to do your job and you get lost and you get hit by a bullet from someone who is in charge of the streets?
Did he shoot him from his car?
So the DoorDash driver was leaving after going to the door and asking for directions. Well, he was planning on asking for directions, but the man didn't come to the door. And so then the man goes out with his gun as the driver is going back to his car and shoots him in the back. Just starts firing off shots. And it's like, what is causing that? Why are you mad that someone came to ask you for directions?
Yeah, that's not. And I mean, they go really, loose with their definitions of who it applies to for stand your ground laws. But that is there's no framing of that is legitimate in a stand your ground law.
Yeah. So Reilly was arrested, but then released on bail. And now he's actually back to work remotely. The town supervisor has spoken out saying it's causing a huge distraction and even safety concerns for other town employees who are dealing with angry calls from people all over the country who've heard about this. The local authorities are investigating, and I don't know, again, this is somebody straight to jail. It's on camera.
Yeah, no, you would think this could be cut and dry.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I actually didn't know that first of all, I didn't even know there was a superintendent of a fucking freeway. And let alone did I know that person was going to have pull in a way of being gotta protect our own.
Right.
What?
The local authorities are investigating, and they're looking into whether it could be a hate crime. The town supervisor and the town board have publicly called for the highway superintendent to resign. But because he's an elected official in New York, they don't actually have the power to force him to step down. The supervisor explained that the only way he'd be removed other than resigning himself would be if he's convicted of a crime.
Can't be impeached?
This is just like...
For this fake job?
I mean, it makes sense that there's somebody that is the head of the highway.
I didn't know it was like so deeply important and like a protected class that you go, actually, the only way I'm out is if I die. Like, that's a lot. Right. That's like...
The situation is so messed up. You just imagine that you're just this delivery driver who was just trying to do his job and ended up seriously hurt. And then you have this elected official who's accused of this violent act and is still technically in his position. It raises a lot of questions about accountability and how communities deal with something like this. The case is expected to go to grand jury, so we'll see what happens. But even from the outside, you can see why people are so upset and calling for justice for the driver. Essentially, even without being part of this specific town, I think that this is bonkers. Like, it's crazy that it is on camera. It's literally on camera, on his own Ring camera, of him doing this heinous act. And it's just like, yeah, I'm back at work.
Because there's no defense of it. There's
no defense.
And like, I don't even mean in the sense that like I would defend him, but like there is no like legal defense to be why this had to have happened.
No.
And it's like, well, unless I get arrested, you guys aren't getting rid of me.
He was released on bail. He has to be convicted of the actual crime.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying in my first part, am I wrong? We've got all this legal tape that we have to cross. Sometimes people just need to be in jail.
Yeah. No, if it's going to be so fucked up and work against so many people, we need it to work for some.
Yeah.
We need it. This aspect of it, it's ludicrous.
So that's mine.
Well, my nomination, I had options, but I thought I would keep this one that I've seen some people talk about, but I think it's getting overshadowed by some of the other ones. And my nomination is Sophia Culpo. The Culpo sisters catch another one. They just nonstop. And she's one of the Culpos. The other one was Olivia, who had the wedding with the ill-fitting long-sleeve high-neck dress about like modesty. And she's married to one of the white 49ers. So, says enough. And her sister, she posted and deleted rapidly, which is why I also think we need to talk about this. Because when someone like, you do a dirty delete, I'm great. Wonderful that you clocked that. You actually didn't, though. It was until the comments told you that, hey, this is really bad. You should delete that because you have to edit it. You got you had a little sound. You got to do all of your little shit or whatever. But I do think it should not. We're not erasing it. We need to. This happened. She posted a video with her baby niece, just holding her. I can't stress this enough. This is an infant. She's holding an infant, and she captioned the photo or the TikTok video. When the Culpo genes beat out the Asian genes. Say hi to my baby niece, Lila. She looks exactly like my brother, even though she's Filipino. Laughing emoji.
If you're not watching this, my mouth is wide open.
What? What? Like, what? I also would like to note, this baby looks Filipino. This baby looks nothing like her. And what? Where's this baby's mother? Where's it? And I'm not judging on the mother or whatsoever, but I'm like, you literally you said, you snatched your niece out of her high chair, I assume. I'm just going to watch her for a little while. You take her and you use her as a prop to make a racist TikTok? With a baby?
Beat her ass. I'd also throw her into my system. Because she falls under the racist one.
Yeah. Also, she looks quite brittle. I think I could take her. Both eyes closed, one arm taped behind my back. She does not look like she's got the tenacity to fight that off. Fucking insane. And like, they are all right wing and they're all like, they're displaying it in like different ways of like, oh, reposting things of certain people, sure, following certain people, sure, But then there's like this like insidious rhetoric that is like seeping into just like everyday culture where it's like, oh, if you don't have like the education to frame this and like in the alt-right pipeline, like you might not catch it, and like it starts to normalize that kind of behavior. So between her sister's shit about like the modest is hottest, like wedding dress fucking shit, and then this, it's like, no. And I'm glad she took it down, but I think everyone needs to know what it was that she took down. Cause like, this is not a mistake. This is not like oh shit, I said something like, you know, I said something or I participated in something when how current events or pop culture or something was very normalized on TV or in the masses. And like, that was a bad call to make. No, she made this today and she wrote the caption. She filmed the video. Like, that's not a slip of the tongue. Like, that's not like anything that she could equate to being like, I reflected on my actions. You had to post upload and see people's response to go, oh, I can't say that.
Yeah. Straight to jail. She's racist. And also, like, if the baby came out looking even more Filipino, would she not like the baby? But you already said the baby does look Filipino.
Baby does look
She's
Filipino.
seeing what she wants to see.
Like, what?
Why does it matter? Because she's racist.
And boy, oh boy, I hope to God her fucking brother obviously saw this and is protecting his wife. And then I hope wife's family beats the shit out of this girl. Like, this is just like, it's so gross and so fucked up. Yeah, and I just imagine like being like, I think he's the only boy or one of the only but like having like a bunch of sister-in-laws who are famous, and then they're all white. And all the rest of the guys that they're all with are white. And being the only person who is like married into this family who is not white. And you have a baby who is the first grandchild and the first niece, nephew who is not white. And having this happen. And then like, you're just supposed to go on with your life and your day. And again, this is a baby. This is a postpartum mom.
Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick.
If I lived in their area, allegedly, I don't. I think she lives fucking like Long Island or New Jersey. That's the vibe I'm getting. The way I would be, where's the local Erewhon? Let me see her. Whew. So, fuck this girl. And by the way, the baby looks terrified, which really adds to like the fact of being like,
babies feel vibes.
Yeah,
Babies,
no, the baby looks.
I haven't met a baby that doesn't love me.
Fucking true. My nephew he made people really earn it. Melisa hardly had to. Like, you did everything, but he was like, and he still talks about you. He talks about how you ride in the Wienermobile.
Mm-hmm. Did you show him our pictures from Beyonce?
I haven't seen him since.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
He's mad at you.
When we were leaving last time, he was like, bye, Megan. I hope she plays Yaya for you. And I was like, thank you. I hope so too. And I'm going to tell him that. I sent you the photo. I want you to look at the photo. Also, the way that they look like, this baby looks like us. You're the most nondescript family I've ever seen.
This baby does not look like you, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. But also, like, how would this baby look like you? This baby doesn't have buccal fat removal. This baby doesn't have lip filler. Like, tell me what are your, like, prominent features that you were born with that you were looking to see in this baby? This is a white woman holding a Filipino baby.
Don't let this woman near this child ever again.
Never.
All right. Well, we've reached the end of the episode, but I'm going to read some comments from Spotify. If you don't know, you can leave comments on Spotify for individual episodes. Josie said, this is from But Am I Wrong? Locking Down Your Situationship. And in that episode, for my But Am I Wrong, I was going to talk about Lisa from Blackpink wearing Rosa Parks on her crotch, but it ended up not being Rosa Parks. So Josie had thoughts on this because she was the one that originally asked me to talk about it. And I was going to talk about it, but it wasn't her anyway. So went back to look at the Lisa discourse. And while not as atrocious as it originally seemed, that is still someone's face. The artist, Henry Taylor's neighbor, on her crotch. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Personally, I
don't want anybody's face.
I don't want anybody's
crotch.
face. Like, I think that like, I felt the same way. I was coming in when I was like, Rosa, like, holy fucking shit. And then it was like, well, it's not Rosa Parks. And I was like, okay, I'll be honest. Even if I don't know, even if it's a stranger, I think that's weird.
Yeah.
And also, if you want to wear your like partner's face on like fucking your underwear, I don't want to see it.
Mm-mm. So I will put most of this blame on Henry Taylor. I will say he is a Black artist, but you could have said no. All right. And then we have Moises saying PB&J and eggs is rotted. We know you've said this before. Thank you, though.
And state it again, because apparently these bitches need to fucking know.
Right. And then on But Am I Wrong? My sister is cheating on our cousin. I don't even need to know what this is about because I did cut around us explicitly talking about it. But
people read between the lines? Uh-oh, about what?
Yeah. Username 125058647 said, she's 27, girl looks 40. I'm not going to say what they're talking about, but you can figure it out.
Yeah, people have questions.
Join us tomorrow for See You Next Tuesday. Wednesday, tune in to an episode of your choosing. Thursday, join us for Don't Blame Me. Friday for Fisting Friday. And then we'll be back here on Monday for another rousing episode of But Am I Wrong?
Wonderful, amazing. We will
circle back. Goodbye.
This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
Can you actually change your personality if you want to? How does peer pressure work, and why is it so powerful? Should you ever really trust your gut when you make a big decision? These are just a few of the topics we've recently covered on my podcast, Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and each episode of Something You Should Know covers multiple topics that are likely relevant to you. You'll discover things you can use in your life today, right now, like how to have a great conversation, how to be more courageous, the anatomy of the perfect apology, and much, much more. To date, there are over 1,000 episodes of Something You Should Know, and we've gotten over 4,000 mostly 5-star reviews. I invite you to check out Something You Should Know. Look for the bright yellow light bulb on the blue background. Something You Should Know, wherever you listen to podcasts.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.
What's up, fellow TV watchers? It's Brian from the Core Podcast, where we cover all things Apple TV+. We are wrapping up our recaps of Emmy favorite Severance, but 2025 on Apple TV Plus is just getting started. In April and May, The Core is recapping Seth Rogen's new Hollywood satire, The Studio, and Jon Hamm's dark comedy, Your Friends and Neighbors. We'll also be recapping the first 2 seasons of Apple's sci-fi thriller, Foundation, heading into the 3rd season of that later this year. Search for The Core, all things Apple TV Plus, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.